So now we will do a gear
informational.
Yeah, an informational segment, some education, some learning. Gear rundown.
This is a Duosonic HS. It also has the non-HS just has single coils. This one has humbucker and single coil.
These are my drums. They're Ludwig's. They are from 1965. They are my babies, my pride and joy. And I was really lucky when I got them. I got them for my 18th birthday from Guitar Center. They were super, super cheap. It was a steal because there was a 12-inch tom. This is a 13-inch tom, a 16, and there was a 12. But the 12 was fake, and it had fake badges, and it was painted blue in the inside, which is very ugly. Very ugly. And so the people at Guitar Center were like, this has to be fake. But they're not fake. They're very much real. And I can show you guys.
They have the white paint in the inside.
It's not blue.
It's not blue. That's how you know what era it's from. And they have the date stamped in them, which is in there, which is super, super cool. And I am really thankful to be a part of the Ludwig family. And when I was in Chicago last, they were kind enough to take me to the old building where they used to make Ludwigs. And so my drums were made in that building along with Ringo's drums, all the stinking greats. And one thing they said was that at that time, there was no way to check if the drum was actually round. And if a head fit on it, then it was good to go off to the stores to get sold. And so that is why some vintage drums sound awful, because they're not actually round. I am very lucky to get one of the really nice, good ones. Mine are very, very round. And yeah, so these are my babies. And before, I played a Ruther drum set, which those are pretty rare. They were from either the late 60s or early 70s, I want to say. They were gold and they had a metallic wrap, and I got that drum set as a gift for my 6th birthday. My father was driving around the neighborhood and he saw a garage sale and he picked it up for me, and I played those drums for years and years and years and years, and it wasn't until I was 18 that I graduated up a level, and I had always wanted Ludwigs. I thought they were amazing and beautiful, and I absolutely love the heritage, the history of the company. And yes, my snare is a Ludwig Superphonic, and I don't exactly remember the year, but I looked it up once. It has this badge, so I think it's 70s. This snare used to belong to a really rad recording studio in Sacramento called The Hangar, and it says The Hangar right there. And I left it on because we actually recorded Lost Control at The Hangar, and then The Hangar ended up moving, and they were called The Dock. And we recorded Volume 4, Tell Your Mind, Hit and Run there, and we also recorded this other project, the Beatles songs that we released were recorded there. And so I have a lot of good memories with this snare. I got this snare right before we toured with Green Day, and so those Green Day shows were the very first time I had played it. Other than recording with it, because I would always use this snare when we recorded. So yeah, I love it.
Used to belong to Chris Woodhouse, but now it is mine. Okay, moving along to symbols. When I was, I want to say 11, I was gifted this symbol for my birthday or Christmas. And I had really, really wanted the Pisces 2002 because Meg White played those. And I loved the White Stripes. The White Stripes were one of my favorite bands ever. And it's actually my very first musical memory was when I was really young listening to the White Stripes. My doorbell stinking slaps. And I thought that it was a woman singing. And I turned to my father and said, Dad, who is this woman singing? And he said, Lucy, that's no woman, that's Jack White. And I just absolutely love the White Stripes. Very influential on my music. But yeah, Meg played a 24-inch Pisces 2002 ride. That is an insanely large ride. This is 20 inches, so imagine 4 extra inches. Dang, bro. So once I had this ride, loved it very, very much, I had to get matching symbols. This is a Power Crash, and I've gone through a couple of these, but in general, amazing. I love this crash so much. And these are my hi-hats. These are new. I am also a part of the Pisces family, and I was able to visit their headquarters and try out a bunch of hi-hats, and I chose these. These are just the standard 2002, the mediums, and growing up I actually played 13-inch 2002s. Those are really weird, and they discontinued that size. They don't even make it anymore. And I also have used the Sound Edge hi-hats, but honestly, for the music that my sister and I play, they were too loud and crazy. So I really, really love these medium hats. They're nice and sturdy. Never had an issue with them. They sound really good. They're not too dark and they're not too bright. That's why I love the 2002 series. And then as far as my hardware goes, I absolutely love DW hardware. DW 5000, kick drum pedal, only way to go. Double chain, no single chains here. Finicky. You don't want that. But yeah, so that is my gear rundown.
Now it's my turn.
Please.
I'm gonna go over some pedal boards. You might want to flip this way. So this is a Death by Audio Fuzz War. Death by Audio is a super rad company based out of New York. They even used to have a venue. They make pedals, make a bunch of different pedals, and they're super nice. Have great customer support. This is like going on the majority of the time in my set. When we played the quiet songs or like I punched into a solo, I would use the super overdrive. Tuning is for tuning. This is an A-B switch, which I'll get to in a moment. But this is the VHT tremolo and reverb, which I'll usually run both of them at the same time. VHT is also an amazing company, and they're also super nice with customer support as well. This is where the power comes from. I used to have one of those one spots on tours, but the cords would always get ruined on tour, and so this is my new power. And so back to the A-B switch. I can go between A and B. But A and B of what? I always run both. If you follow the chords, it is to 2 different amps. So I run 2 amps at the same time to create a thick, full sound.
Thick with 2 C's, baby!
Of our dog party, as we are just 2 people. Lucy, do you want to give them a rundown of the amplifiers?
Yes, so the amps are both 1968. One of them, Silverface Bandmaster, stinking sick. The other one, Blackface Bassman. We actually have a Blackface Bandmaster and a Silverface Bassman that we have on reserve for recording. They're in
pristine condition, and we tour a lot. So our amp tech was like, dudes, probably should not tour on this combo because it's brilliant and amazing. So we switched it out for this alternative, which is literally the same thing, except we just tour on it. So, yeehaw.
That's all the gear. The sign was made for us.
Yeah. This sign, we played in Urban Outfitters a couple years ago, and they made us this sign. So, shout out to Urban Outfitters.
And then this little sign here.
Oh, yeah, I painted that myself. A lot of people ask me about my drum head. I did this with nail polish, actually. I wouldn't recommend using nail polish, really. But I was in Truckee at the time, and Truckee does not have an art store. It does not have really much of anything besides awesome trails and skiing. But I wanted it to be pink and glittery, so I went to the store, picked up some nail polish, and stinking painted it.
Shout out to Destroy Boys for saying hi. Sacktown represent.
Sacktown represent.
What size speakers and cabinets?
So, interestingly, I run this head to this cab, and this head to this cab. It is a 4x12, and then this one's 2x12. Isn't this one 4x20?
Why don't you tell them the difference between them? Like how you run them. Like one's
Oh.
and one's
Okay. So, with the pedals and everything, certain pedals go to different amps. And so, the fuzzy, distorted, kind of more low end, that goes to the bassman. And it comes out of the bigger one. And I have it with a. And then the Bandmaster has the VHT tremolo reverb as well as the super overdrive, and that is more of a clean sound that shines through and kind of rounds it out, so it's brighter, it's not as muddy overall.
Are there any questions on there?
Oh, the TikTok.
Yeah, I guess we'll show you the TikTok. Against my will. Does anyone have questions?
Okay, so TikTok, Snap, if you don't know. And you know, I enjoy TikTok. At the end of the day, I will sit and I will watch it, and I see funny videos. I see puppies. I see kittens. I see ferrets and cute other animals, horses and pigs, chickens even. I also see cooking videos, lots of recipes, and I also see life hacks. And so I actually don't see any dancing ever. A lot of people critique the app and say that it's just like 13-year-olds dancing half naked on there. Never seen that. Don't know what that's all about. But anyways, one of the videos that just really made me laugh, if I can find it. It is like did you guys know that song? You guys might not. I only knew it from TikTok. But it's like, if I back it up, would you love it? Or
It's a Lizzo.
I know, it's not Lizzo.
Oh.
It's false information.
Oh, I thought you said.
Okay, it's like, if I back it up. What are the words? I don't even know. Does anyone know? I don't know. The back it up song. But watch this, guys.
If I back it up, is it fat enough? If I throw it back, is it fast enough? If I speed it up, can you handle that? You ain't ready for this work, and now watch me burn. Throw it back. If I back it up.
Yeah, so that's the TikTok. Maybe I can find. Someone asked a question.
Yeah, we got a question.
Mhm.
What was the most proudest? Oh, I'm taller than you. I'm towering over you.
I'm taller than her.
Proudest moment in your career? Was that the question?
Mhm.
I think the proudest moment of my career was fairly recently, actually. We were playing in Canada somewhere with Real Big Fish and the Aquabats. Where was it? I don't know where KJ was at. KJ from Chick Stick was there. Yes, it was Calgary. It was the last show of the tour, right? Maybe not.
I think Calgary was.
I really don't know, but why it was so awesome was because I looked out into the audience and they were all just like super down and like digging it. It's also really cool when you see people singing your songs.
And that was a show and a tour where all three bands, opening, main support, and headliner, were all very different in their sound, but everyone was there and supporting all the different kinds of music and just having a good time.
You guys ever come to South America?
South America. I would love to go to South America. I actually used to watch Ramones Raw a lot as a youngin', and I would see the footage of the Ramones going to South America, and it was insane. I always thought that was so crazy. So South American peeps, that'd be sick.
Someone asked again if you guys are writing a new album.
We are writing a new album, and it's full of rock and roll and awesomeness. We've been working on it for a while, and we're really excited about it because we think that it's our finest body of work yet.
Follow up on that is, what's your favorite album to write?
What was the favorite album to write?
I don't know where you're crying as you read the songs. I don't know. I think
Hit and Run was really like a pivotal album in our career because it was our like coming of age album. I was, I guess, like 17 when I wrote a lot of those songs, and we weren't really kids anymore. Like, for example, Flamingo Go, we played it in a set, it was a request. I wrote that when I was in 8th grade. I've been writing songs since I was 8.
I've been writing songs since I was like
When
preschool. There's like old diaries or.
I followed my older sister's lead when it came to most everything growing up, and she was so into music and so into writing that I followed suit. But definitely, like, Flamingo Go is goofy, silly. I was super into the Ramones and that kind of punk rock, which is not the most serious thing. But then as I grew older, my musical tastes developed and branched out into different genres and whatnot, and I really started looking at songwriting as an art and really paid a lot of attention to song structure and lyrics and all that stuff. I became obsessed, which I am today, very obsessed with it. But definitely Hit and Run was a transition where we went into just more complex song structures, chord progressions, and the subject matter wasn't like goofy or whatever. It was more serious. And one of the things that's really important to me when I listen to music is when I can relate to the song and feel it resonate deeply within me. And I want to be able to.
Oh, there's a new one that's really like
yes, I wanted to be able to do
Actually,
that.
there's a bunch on the new record.
Yeah, I wanted to do that to other people. I wanted them to feel what I was feeling. And I know that a lot of people can, like, relate to it. And so that was one thing with Hit and Run. A lot of people told Courtney and I, like, oh, I really related to this song, or, like, this is what I was going through, and, like, I heard your song, and I was like, bro.
Which is why we need to play Clean Hearts more. It's more relatable.
Yeah. So that was the first time when people were really, saying that.
Like it. Feel it.
But this new body of work definitely is like intense. If anyone goes through anything kind of extreme,
Emo.
yeah, severe emo-ness, then So I'm just basically really excited for everyone to hear the new stuff that we have lined up. I know that the song that we played
It was a happy song.
was actually a happy song, and it's one of very few on the new record. So, yes. Any other questions?
Yes. Who was your musical hero crush?
Crush. Well.
You should tell the sneaky guys.
So I have always been obsessed with music since the beginning of my days because our father always had music playing. He really loved music. So it was just very, very important to us. And he listened to really cool music, White Stripes, Danny Warhol's, LCD Sound System, stuff like that. Really cool. And then when I was in middle school, I started branching off, doing my own thing. And so I was obsessed with the Ramones. Literally obsessed. I read all the books I could find on them, listened to all their records, just insane. And Johnny Ramone was my first. I loved Johnny Ramone so much. And my sister, she would always say, like, do you like any boys at school? And I was like, no. I like Johnny Ramone, which is dead, first of all. And I actually wrote Dead Guy about Johnny. And she actually thought of this, like, inside joke thing where she related, like, boys to soup. And she was like, Lucy, like, you need to like soup. You aren't liking soup right now. Because I liked an old dead guy. But anyways, that was like
I even wrote her a card, and it had really cool illustration on
Yeah,
it.
she
She
was
was
like-
really like old lady drinking soup.
She was like,
Because people like soup.
People like soup. Get on that. But definitely, like, I love Paul McCartney. He is such a babe. And I love Elvis too. Babely guys.
Or you said that.
Yeah, I already said Paul. I'm
You have a
trying
lot
to
of
think.
boyfriends.
Oh, I have so many. Graham Parsons is also one of my boyfriends. I love him so much. And I know I'm probably like forgetting someone like really obvious. Oh, Hank Williams. Duh.
When I was like 3, I wanted to marry Bon Jovi.
Yeah. When he didn't want to marry Bon Jovi. Heroes. Musical heroes. I mean, you gotta love Hank Williams. His songwriting can make you literally cry. It's like sometimes when I put on Hank, a tear. One single tear just streamed down my face.
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Billy Joe Armstrong is one of my favorite people on the face of the planet. He's my dear friend, and I so inspired by him in many
Hero
ways.
and inspiration.
Yeah,
to
hero.
all.
Yeah, he's an awesome, amazing, rad human being. First of all, secondly, he's one of the best songwriters ever. And lastly, he's taking shreds.
Dream venue to play.
Dream venue. Okay. The Grand Ole Opry. Duh. At the Ryman. At the Ryman Auditorium. That is my dream venue. I swear to you,
Red Rocks would be cool.
that venue, I would freak out. I normally don't freak out about stuff like that. But I don't think I would be able to contain myself, and I probably would start crying on stage if I played at the Ryman. Straight up. I really want to play there. Really bad.
Favorite song to play live right now?
Whoa. Whoa.
It's my favorite.
Courtney likes to play Whoa because she's thinking shreds in the solo. I really love to play Operator because the harmonies are
That
singing
one's
sick.
fun.
Also, I really love to play Bad Dream. Bad Dream we did not play today. But specifically at that one show I was talking about in Canada, that was one of my proud musical moments, was actually when we were playing Bad Dream. And just people were like really getting down with Bad Dream.
Yeah.
I would get down with it. Do we got more questions?
What are your biggest current influences?
My biggest current influence.
Orville Peck.
Oh, I love Orville Peck.
There's like a lot of
I need
bands.
to
I
shut
did
my-
college radio, so I was listening to all current music.
Oh,
Um,
one record that I absolutely
Kevin Morby is awesome.
Yeah, Kevin Morby. One record that
Courtney
I
Barnett's
absolutely
cool.
adore is El Dorado by ELO. I know that's kind of wild card, but that stinking record goes so hard. It's a concept record. I dream one day that I will write a concept record. So when I'm older and wiser, I will. I obviously love George Jones. He is one of the best singers literally ever. There's a lot to learn from him. And I just love learning from singers like Johnny Horton and George Jones, Hank Williams, and Dwight
Is it
Yoakam.
current?
Oh, like current?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just going on a rant about. I thought you meant like right now, currently. Okay. Well, I don't really listen to much current,
But I do.
music. Actually, one current thing that I've actually been digging, which
Oh,
is
Shannon and the
so
Clams.
not what I traditionally listen to, is the Marias. They stinking slap. So if you haven't listened to the Marias, you should. They recently played at Holland Project and stinking tore it up there, which is so sick.
The thermals are relatively current.
I'm so sorry that I totally butchered that one. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of friends in bands, such as like swimmers.
Oh yeah.
Our friends Destroy Boys, who said hi to us, hello again, and they're current. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking.
Question.
Favorite memory from touring with Green Day?
Definitely when I pranked Trey. They were pranking us the whole entire time, and I pranked him back. He did not expect it, but it was the very last show on the tour. We were playing in
St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis. And that's the last show of Green Day tour where they normally like prank the bands really hard. And so basically, they had gone up on stage before our set and taped a sign to my drum head that said opening band. And I went out there and saw it. And Trey's drums were already on stage and they had a big tarp over them. And so I took the sign off and put them on his drums and, you know, put the tarp back over. So then when Green Day was setting up, there was no curtain at this venue, so you could see all the stagehands, you know, helping set up the gear. And it was up there for a solid 15 minutes. It said opening band on Trey's drums. So yeah, that was one of my favorite moments.
I think one of my favorite moments was when we were backstage and there's this YouTube video of people pronouncing. You're reading like WikiHow or questions, and all of them were involving being pregnant with a lot of misspellings.
Yeah, it was misspellings of pregnant, like pregnant. And so Woody and I were busting up in the hallway, just completely busting up.
And then Billy comes over and then we were just like, you gotta watch this.
He's like, what you guys laughing at? Like, he opened the door. What are you guys laughing at? Can I see? So we showed him.
And it was really good.
Pregnant.
Pregnant.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, tour plans.
Okay, so we had a big summer plan for y'all. A lot of exciting things. But unfortunately, due to the current state of the world, they were canceled.
Postponed. So.
Yeah, some were canceled, some were postponed. But luckily, well, everything else.
Well,
I mean, like, you know.
it hasn't been like announced yet, but some of
Officially?
the shows are out there on
Leaked.
the internet.
They've been leaked on the internet.
So
the
I guess if
venues.
you look at our band camp or bands in town,
If you look at the bands in town, you will see shows in 2021 in the month of May. That's all we're gonna say because I don't know if we're allowed to say it.
yeah,
So go look at the band camp if you want to see
bands in town.
bands in town. Sorry. Do we have any other questions?
It kind of covers it.
Well, thank you all for watching, and we hope to do this again sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
I know, again, there were a lot of requests that we didn't get to, such as Dead Guy, Rub Girl.
People want another stream.
Yeah.
We want another stream.
Mm-hmm.
It sound.
And somebody was asking clarification on dead guy, Johnny or Joey?
Johnny. Because Joey was buried. Johnny was not. Johnny was cremated.
Part of the lyrics
Yes.
say.
If you listen to the lyrics in the bridge, it said,
You could have been a zombie.
"You could have been a zombie and we could have met someday, but your old lady cremated you away. Now my tears fall instead, because you're dead."
There you have it.
There you have it.
That's it, huh?
All right.
I don't know.
Goodbye, guys. It was an absolute pleasure.
Oh, send me your guys' Switch friend codes
Oh, my
for
Lord.
Animal Crossing on the dog party.
Don't
DM.
send them to me. Send them to her.